Here's Cornet now. The cross. Back post. Dubois is there. Straight back in. Oh, it's a goal! Leon Dubois! Louis Gasset, here's Cornet now. The cross. Back post. Dubois is there. Straight back in. Oh, it's a goal! Leon Dubois!
Because the rules were against it, he played the simple ball. Dia in for Hurtado! An all-timer from Eric Hurtado!
An entirely beautiful Saturday morning. Good morning and welcome to Battle of the Fans. Well, it's live and exclusive to Spectrum Television. Well, this is a show where we talk about the biggest stories making rounds in the footballing world. There's a lot to talk about this morning. We'll take a look at the NPFL returning for match day 12 later this weekend. Akwa United take an Eyimba in a battle of two former winners of the competition. We'll also take a look at what's happening from the Super Eagles team. Well, Jose Pesero has been in the news for the very crazy reasons. We'll talk about the stories from there as well. Well, the Super Falcons of Nigeria continue preparations for that invitational tournament in Turkey. We'll talk about the latest from there and the players who have arrived in camp ahead of those big games expected later this month. Well, it's the return of club football in Europe. The Premier League, the La Liga, the Bundesliga, the Serie A, and the French League all returning later this weekend. For the Premier League, it's a top of the table clash. It's City against Liverpool. Well, 5 years ago, this game would have been an intense rivalry, but this season it's been a different case, especially for Liverpool, who have struggled for form so far so good this season. But of course, this game does not take off the shine of being an interesting game and one to look out for. We'll talk about the game going on in Bayern Munich. It's a Thomas Tuchel derby. Bayern Munich against Borussia Dortmund. Big game expected as well later today. We'll talk about these games and so much more on the show today. You can always be a part of the conversation. Come and head to Facebook at facebook.com/spectrumtv.ng. On Twitter, it's spectrumtv.ng. On Instagram, it's spectrum_ng. And of course, head to our website at www.spectrumtv.ng and enjoy wholesome content for your viewing delight. My name is Isaac, and I'm excited, as you can see, to be back on the show this morning, leading the charge of some top-notch analysts that will be a part of the show as we progress. But before we get into all of this talk, we'll take you through the biggest stories right now. Enjoy. Right back.
Here's Cornet now. The cross. Back post. Dubois is there. Straight back in. Oh, it's a goal! Leon Dubois!
Because the rules were against it, he played the simple ball. Dia in for Hurtado! An all-timer from Eric Hurtado!
Here's Cornet now. The cross. Back post. Dubois is there. Straight back in. Oh, it's a goal! Leon Dubois!
Because the rules were against it, he played the simple ball. Dia in for Hurtado! An all-timer from Eric Hurtado!
Here's Cornet now. The cross. Back post. Dubois is there. Straight back in. Oh, it's a goal! Leon Dubois!
Because the rules were against it, he played the simple ball. Dia in for Hurtado! An all-timer from Eric Hurtado!
Alright, so welcome back. Battle of the Fans live on Spectrum TV. Let's take a look at the big stories making rounds. Well, there's a story emanating from the media. The Super Falcons head coach Randy Wardrum is set to resign from his role just 3 months to the start of the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. According to several media reports, Wardrum is ready to recommend a replacement and will push for his outstanding wages to be paid. Wardrum's time so far with the Super Falcons have not been good, and that has brought a lot of criticism to his direction. The team also lost 3 games and finished 4th at the 2022 Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco before beating Costa Rica at the Revelation Cup in February. The team lost 7 straight games. Well, sadly, Victor Osimhen is set to miss Napoli's home game against AC Milan on Sunday as a result of injury. Osimhen has missed training since returning from international duty this week. The 24-year-old complained of adductor strain, which was later confirmed through tests. The extent of his injury will be evaluated next week. Osimhen recently featured for Nigeria in the both legs of the AFCON qualifiers against the Jutus of Guinea-Bissau. Napoli would hope their talisman would avoid a serious injury with their Champions League quarter-final clash against AC Milan fast approaching. The 24-year-old has scored 21 goals in 23 league appearances for the Patronato this season. We're traveling to Spain. Barcelona in contact with Lionel Messi about returning to the club. This is according to Vice President Rafael Yuste. The 35-year-old Argentina forward is Barca's all-time top scorer with 672 goals in 778 games, and he left the Nou Camp for financial reasons back in 2021. His 2-year contract with PSG expires this summer, and his preference is thought to be staying with the French club. Messi agreed a new deal with Barca on reduced wages 2 years ago, but it was dependent on the club selling players following new financial rules. That did not happen in time, and ended a storied spell at the club, which yielded 4 Champions Leagues, 10 La Liga titles, plus 6 Ballon d'Ors. Messi, who won the World Cup in Argentina in December, has scored 29 goals in 66 games for PSG. Well, finally, let's talk about the Premier League returning this weekend. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola says he may have to gamble on Erling Haaland's fitness for today's game against Liverpool. Haaland is 22, pulled out of Norway's squad with a groin problem sustained in City's FA Cup win over Burnley, and will be assessed after training. City will definitely be without Phil Foden, who faces up to 3 weeks out following appendix surgery. Today, Haaland, who joined City from Borussia Dortmund in June for £51 million, has scored 42 goals in 37 games this season, including 28 in 26 Premier League games. City are 8 points behind league leaders Arsenal with a game in hand. Foden could return for City's Champions League quarter-final, firstly against German champions Bayern Munich on 11th of April. The return game is on April 19th. Well, these are the stories we're tracking right now. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll have the guests join the conversation, and together we'll do justice to what's in the plate. By the way, you can always be a part of the show. In due time, we'll take calls today, and the phone lines will be displayed right on your screen. So you do well to be a huge part of the conversation. Stick around. Right back in the jiffy.
It is corner now. The cross, back post. Dubois is there, straight back in. Oh, it's a goal! Léon Dubois.
Because the women's sport can't see played the simple ball. Dia in for Hurtado. And all-timer from Eric Hurtado.
It is corner now. The cross, back post. Dubois is there, straight back in. Oh, it's a goal! Léon Dubois.
Because the women's sport can't see played the simple ball. Dia in for Hurtado. And all-timer from Eric Hurtado.
It is corner now. The cross, back post. Dubois is there, straight back in.
Chilwell found some space.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by grossly abused. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigeria Police Force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian Police Force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My Lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My Lord, the Matters Council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my Lord, but we can't be talking about cases which are in court.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my Lord. These cases are in court, my Lord. I'm just reminding your Lordship.
My Lord, sorry, my Lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. for Legally Speaking.
One truth not often told is about the transformation that Africa has undergone in recent decades. Africa is shaping its own destiny and should be referred to as the African opportunity. On Spotlight Africa, we paint the African picture the African way, laced with truth, detail, and the color of the African continent. Join Uyai Anyekan every Tuesday and Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Spotlight Africa, telling the African story.
Every day, we bring you up-to-date information on topical issues affecting the common Nigeria.
From issues on politics,
Hello, Nigeria. I remain committed.
security,
Education, health,
lifestyle, and so much more. Join Janice Kobum and Uyai Anyeken
every weekday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Rise and Shine Daily, exclusive on Spectrum Television.
Dubois there. Straight back in. Oh, it's a goal! Leon Dubois!
Because the women's sport Kansas City played this simple ball. Dia in for Hurtado. An all-timer from Eric Hurtado.
It is corner now.
Right, so thank you very much for sticking around. Battle of the Fans it is. It's live and exclusive to Spectrum Television. My name is Isaac, by the way, and I'm quite excited as always to be back on the show this Saturday morning to take you through the biggest stories making rounds in the footballing world. Loads of talking points, I tell you. But by the way, we saw the sights and sounds of the last time Liverpool and City faced each other in the Premier League this season. It ended 1-0 Mohamed Salah, the difference on the night, as Liverpool got that deserved 1-0 victory and 3 full points against our rivals Manchester City. Well, Joe Cancelo capitulating there and giving Salah a golden chance to score the winning goal of the game. And it was interesting to see, well, loads of talking points from that game. Klopp getting a red card for protesting through referee decisions and all of that. We saw Erling Haaland and the rest of them putting up fine performances, but it was Liverpool getting the victory at the end of the day. But then, both teams face off later today again at the DTH Stadium. Big games, big talking points from the ball. Of course, I'm not alone. I've got the expert presence of two big names in the studio with me. They've been in and around the scene. One has had a hiatus, was out for quite a while, but he's back on the show. And the second has been a regular face in the show. And I'm wondering why he chose Real Madrid today, but he'll tell us himself. Well, I begin with the runaway soldier. Good morning, Umwenwe. It's good to have you on the show. It's been a while.
Thank you very much, Mary. It's a fine day to be back. I went on a sabbatical, but I'm
interesting.
Back.
You needed it.
Yes.
Even Pep hasn't gotten a sabbatical yet. You needed it. Interesting. Well, Jeff, the very controversial Jeff. I know you're here, quiet as always, but ready to slap people with words. Good to have you.
Thank you very much, Mary. It's been an amazing week.
Absolutely.
And I am so happy to be here.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, why did you choose Real Madrid? Because I know your affiliations with Manchester United and Manchester City, but I never knew about your affiliations with Real Madrid.
I am a football lover. I am a very big football lover.
Yeah.
Regardless of the fact that I support both Manchester teams in England, I also support Real Madrid in Spain, AC Milan in Italy, and maybe Lyon in the French league.
You deliberately shifted from PSG?
No, I don't like the team. They are not focused particularly, so let me just focus on
well, there's something I wanted to talk about, guys. I wanted to know how you guys survived during the cash scarcity issue, because I spoke with UT last week, Saturday, and UT said that due to a stampede at the bank, he fell and broke his waist. Right? So I wanted to know how you guys survived through that cash scarcity, and how does it feel like, has things returned to normal right now for you when we start with
Well, firstly, I have to say, during that period, I was basically indoors, just to avoid a whole lot of issues outside.
Debit alert. Yes.
Since you can't find money, so rather to avoid problems, you just stay indoors. But I think gradually things are getting back to normal, though things are not totally normal yet, but at least it's much better than the experiences we had about 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. So I'm happy that things are gradually coming back to normal.
Jeff, how is POS charges right now for you?
I haven't used a POS in the past 3 weeks, even when the whole cash scarcity thing was happening.
So how were you
I was
going
able
around
to
with money?
Fortunately for me, I serve a living God, Marizona. All the people I did business with accepted transfers.
Okay.
So it was very easy for me. So
Nice.
I was just doing the transfer, I was going my way. Even transporters. So
yeah, so
I didn't feel it that
even
much.
the tricycle riders got transfers from you?
Unfortunately, yes.
Wow.
Unfortunately, one of them specifically used a particular fintech company. So I was like, "You accept transfer?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay."
Okay.
Praise God. So I just had to do transfer all the way.
But how about now? How about now? Still doing the transfer business, or going back to using cash?
Now I am able to see cash from here and there. So I still do little transfer and little cash, but all the same. I am happy it is back, and I still serve a living God.
All right, it's interesting to know. But of course, I know the experiences for you is almost the same thing. Thank God that things are gradually getting back to normal. Yesterday, I got money for quite fair charges at the POS counter, and it was nice because it was the first time I was getting an amount of money for that amount of charges. So thank God that things are getting back to normal. But let's talk about something a lot more sporty, particularly. Well, It's the NPFL returning this weekend, guys. Match day 12. Yes. And the biggest game is Aqua United welcoming Eyimba to the nest of champions. Now, this is a clash between the third and fourth team in Group A. Aqua United sits third with 19 points, 2 wins from their last 5 games, and 3 draws. Eyimba sit fourth with 18 points, 2 wins, 2 draws, and the loss so far. And well, 2-3 years ago, this game should be a blockbuster encounter because it would be a game between 2 informed teams at some point. But look at Aqua United so far, so good, quite good. And of course, Eyimba's trying to get themselves back on track. Talk to us about the efficacy of this game and what we should expect from both sides.
Mary, it's going to be a very tough game. Normally, Aqua United versus Eyimba is always a very, very, very tough game as far as it's concerned, especially when it's right here at the Gospel Akpabio International Stadium. Yeah. Just like you have rightly said, a few years ago, that would have been more like a top of the table clash. But for me, it's still a big game because Eyimba, anytime, any day, always pose a threat to any team, irrespective of the fact that whether they are competing for the league or not. Yeah. They are kind of a team that decide. At the end of the day, they have a way of deciding where the league title swings to, and in a particular season, it's one of the way to know if a team in NPFL is ready to win a league is by beating Eyimba. That is how big Eyimba has become as far as the NPFL is concerned. So, right here at the Gospel Akpabio International Stadium, it's going to be a very tough game. It's always a very keenly contested game. Aqua United will not want to, give in to Eyimba. Eyimba also want to take something away from the Gospel Akpabio Stadium. Aqua United started very slowly as far as this season is concerned, but I think they have been able to pick themselves up, and they are gradually coming up as far as the league standing is concerned, even though it's an abridged version of the league. So for me, I think at the end of the day, Aqua United should be able to get all the maximum 3 points because it's the state that in
Jeff, let's talk about something. Now, people have begun questioning the quality and, of course, the massiveness of Eyimba as a football team. Because you look at them, the last time they won an NPFL title was in 2019. That's quite a long time. And then people think that at some point, maybe they've lost that fear factor of being the biggest team in Nigeria. Do you think so too?
I don't think they've lost that fear factor. Like he said, whoever is ready and willing to win the league should be able to beat Eyimba. I don't think they've lost that fear factor. I just think that other teams have been improving. Other teams have been. I saw the game last week between Bendel Insurance and Aqua United, and I was like, this is
a proper football match.
A proper football match. This is competition I am seeing. So it has moved from when it was just Eyimba, Heartland, Enugu Rangers, and you see other people coming to compete for this same league, trying to beat these top guns. So I don't think they are dropping at the moment, but the league is becoming competitive as the day goes by.
That's interesting. Now let's go towards that conversation. Now, as you said, the league is getting very competitive as the days go by. We're now seeing teams like Bendel Insurance, Remo Stars, Aqua United, Eyimba, Plateau United too in and around the scene, Rivers United who are defending champions, Lobby Stars also in and around the scene. Talk to us about the competition at the NPFL and how it will help market our league to the world stage.
Yeah, Mary, I think just like Jeff has rightly said, the competition is gradually coming in. It's something we not always see in the NPFL, and we as the fans and supporters of the NPFL are really happy towards that, because look at the top leagues in the world. It's all about competition. That is what gives out. That's why people keep talking about the EPL, because people keep saying that EPL is the best team in the world because of the competition we see there, the top 4 fights, and the relegation fight and all of that. And that's exactly what we are experiencing right now in the NPFL. We are seeing teams. It's no more about Eyimba. It's about it's not about Eyimba on its own. If you are not good enough, you can't win the NPFL. You have to be very good. It's not just about, okay, I'm the big boys and I can always walk into the league and win anytime I like. But nowadays, you need to be very good and have a good team to, fight for the league.
We keep talking about the NPFL not making so much money, the NPFL not being up there in terms of marketability, and of course, the NPFL not being in terms of visibility. Now, how should the LMC, the IMC, cash in on this intense competition and sell our league to other countries in Africa, so we get some sponsorships in and let the other countries in Africa know that there's an intense competition in Nigerian football?
Yeah, football is a very big business, and the earlier the IMC gets to realize that this league is becoming competitive, this league is supposed to be sold, this league is supposed to fetch us a certain amount of revenue, they are to look not just away from the football part of it, but also the business part of it. I feel they are not doing enough with regards to marketing. Now, if you get to watch most of these games, like the CAF Champions League game I saw between Rivers United and
Diabolus North Confederations Cup game rather. I saw champions.
I saw the game on Super Sports, if I'm not mistaken. Now the video quality was quite bad. Now, if you want to market your league, if you want to market the teams in your league, you have to first of all start with video quality. You have to start with officiating. You have to start with trying to bring big
and
investors.
even putting the league on TV.
On
because
TV.
That's been an age-long conversation. We've seen manifestos. Oh, the league is going to be on TV this season.
Yeah, Mary, just to chip into what Jeff has rightly said, you have just hit the nail on the head right at the moment. The first thing, marketing. You know, it's a big situation that, as big as the Nigerian league is, we can't view it in our TVs. I watch a less fancy leagues in TV. Maybe more of you see the Ethiopian leagues and the rest of them on TV. So then why can't we see our own leagues on TV? Because that's the first way of marketing the league. And then you look at the transfer market in NPFL. It has always been an issue.